Hi, I'm Danny.
And I'm Siobhan. Are you in the market for a new retro toaster, but you don't know where to start?
Well, we got you covered because we went out and bought a ton of retro toasters here. Also, we could compare them to the Smeg and Dualit retro toasters.
And just to be extra, we bought an authentic vintage 1947 Proctor toaster to throw into the mix as well, just for fun.
So buckle up.
Because you're in for a toasty ride. So yesterday, Danny spent all day in the kitchen toasting a total of 60 pieces of toast. He tested these on light, medium, and dark mode. And what were your findings?
Well, Siobhan, my findings were basically that all of these machines toast about even. From the very cheap to the most expensive, they're all about the same. And they're all a little spotty and not perfect. In fact, I pretty much found out that the only way you're gonna get perfect toast is if you open up a bakery and buy a commercial toasting machine. That's the only way you're gonna get it.
But Danny, what if I don't want toast? What if I want a bagel?
Well, I'm glad you asked because let's talk about Bagel Mode. Not even all the machines here do bagels, and it's kind of hard to tell when you're trying to buy them online. For example, the Mueller here actually has no bagel mode whatsoever. The buydeem here and the Bella do have a bagel mode, but it don't work. Now I'll hold these two pieces of bagel. Tell me which one feels softer on the backside.
This one.
That's because this was toasted properly. Whereas this one actually came from the green buydeem. The whole point of a bagel mode is to only do one side. This is the weirdest toaster because what it does is it turns on both elements and then turns one of them off after a while. But it still toasted the crud out of this thing and it's not a good bagel.
Basically what he's saying is this toaster toasts both sides of the bagel and this one does it properly. It only toasts the inside.
And the Bella just flat out ignored me when I pressed the bagel mode. It just toasted both of them. I don't know what's going on there. Thankfully, the rest of them were just fine.
So as far as special features go on these toasters, they all have a defrost button.
All of the defrost buttons on average add about 15 to 20 seconds to the toasting cycle. It's really should just be considered like a bit more toast button because it doesn't really know whether there's frozen toast in it or not. And it might as well be just as useful as the closed door button on an elevator.
As far as extra special features, these two kind of stand out. The Bella here has a gluten-free mode. We're not quite sure what that actually does. The manual doesn't say. If you eat a lot of gluten-free bread, that might be kind of nice. It saves a little time.
And what I would say overall for the features on these things, it's really more of a sales technique than anything. These all just toast and add or subtract time. None of them are really that exceptional, except you did point out one feature you did like.
So these are both the buydeem. They have pretty much all the same features, except for this one has a little screen here that lights up with the dial. And so you can see what level it's at. And it also counts down, so it can tell you how much time is left on the toast. That's pretty nice.
In fact, the only other toaster that would compete with this would be the Dualit because you can hear the timer ending. That's the only other one with like a concrete, this is how long the toasting cycle is.
It's done.
So as far as safety goes, if you're worried about your toddler coming up on the counter and touching these things, for the most part, you should not be afraid of most of these toasters, with a few exceptions. The crownful here, you'll notice, actually has a shallow slope here in between the toasting box and the shell, and as a result, it gets kind of hot up here, so I don't recommend the crownful. The most terrifying toaster was the Proctor. That will burn your skin badly, and in fact, it toasted the toast so much that I was afraid it was going to burn the house down. I was getting water ready.
It was scary.
Both the Proctor and the Dualit will toast the crud out of your toast though. But yeah, if you are looking for a safe toaster, one of the things you should look for is the distance between the toasting protective outer shell and the actual toast box inside. I found that both of the buydeems are okay, but they do get a little warm.
This one was the hottest. And then these ones were a runner-up.
The Proctor, then this one,
and these were a
guys.
runner-up. Okay, and the Smeg though gets really hot too, doesn't it?
No, it wasn't too bad.
Okay.
So I guess that brings us to the build quality and the aesthetics of these toasters.
Which is the most important thing to me. I feel like if you're using a device every day, it should be something that you enjoy using. Some of the levers here as well are made from cheap plastic. And you can feel the seams on the plastic. You might be like, okay, that's not a big deal. It's just made from plastic. But this is what you're touching every time you go to make toast. Versus the Smeg here, so this is a really nice metal ball. Honestly, I love to use it just for that reason. It's pretty substantial, like the metal is pretty heavy. It doesn't slide around on the counter when you use it like the mueller here does. When you try to go use them, this one actually lifts up off the counter when you try to put it down.
When you pick up the Dualit, you can tell it's made of like high quality, simple, but high quality material just by the weight.
Little things too, just like the cord.
Yeah, here's the cord on the crownful. It doesn't even have a ground versus that one does.
The Smeg here has a really nice push button. And it's just so nice to use. Like it's fun to interact with. On the crownful here, you actually have to lift up the back of the toaster to take out the crumb tray. It's a little bit frustrating. So let's bring in the Proctor here, just for fun. This is our actual authentic vintage toaster. What stands out about this to me is the beautiful shape, like the machining on this metal here. It's just so sleek and almost like space age.
They don't make them like this anymore. In fact, this is the only one that was made in the USA. Really, none of these toasters will ever match what I sense is the quality of this. They'll be more safe than this one, but they'll never be quite as nice as this. I think this is an industry that has gone mainly to producing as cheap as possible toasters.
What it is they're imitating the look of a vintage toaster without actually imitating the function and the high quality build.
In conclusion, we've seen that all of these toasters basically do the same thing. And at the end of the day, you will still get your toast. There's something just about holding the Smeg or the Dualit when it's in person in comparison to some of these that just is a lot more satisfying and makes your kitchen a nicer place to be in. But if you are really off-put about the expensive price of those toasters, I would suggest going onto eBay and seeing if you can get a used one. I think that's a better investment than buying these toasters, which you're probably more likely to toss just because you're not personally as invested in them as the nicer toasters. So thanks for watching. If you liked it, please leave a comment below and check out Siobhan's new YouTube channel.
This is my design that I've come up with. That's right, Studio Bonbon.
Studio
like
Bonbon.
And follow.
Yeah, so check them out. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys next year or something when we decide to get neurotic about toasters again. So thanks for watching. Have a toasty day. Sorry,
Bye.
I'm sorry.
Bye,
I'm
bye.
so sorry.